Back with me is ECR's Technical Director of Exploration, Adam Jones. Adam, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Andrew.
Look, firstly, Adam, Blue Moon, just a couple of days out now from the start of that drill campaign. Give us a bit of a status update as to where the rig is.
Yeah, it's on its way, and it should be arriving anytime next week to start the initial drilling there, as planned, as our last announcement. We're going to, first of all, do, I think got about 1,000 meters planned up, first up. And the whole intention of that is to test for the extension of the strike of the Blue Moon prospect further to the west of where we did the RC drilling in 2019. So essentially, we're looking at trying to, getting to prove up, 250 plus meter strike length in this thing.
Just remind us, Adam, as far as what you see the potential being here, and a bit about the prospectivity of Blue Moon.
So Blue Moon is on our Ballaston licenses, and as readers are all been aware that most of the mineralisation, quartz veins, whatever, have been sort of narrow and small, but high grade. However, Blue Moon is different in that it's more disseminated gold mineralisation. We're talking about bulkable, mineable widths potentially. And initial drilling from 2019, we had some intersections going around 11 meters at 6 grams. So, you're starting to talk about really good commercial widths there. Strike extension to the west is open. So that's what this initial drilling will be targeting. Even to the east, we don't even know where this thing ends. We've drilled about 150 meters depth in the vertical sense, and we're proving gold mineralization even at that depth. So yeah, so that's what we're going to be following up on, and so hopefully towards Christmas time we'll have a full, complete idea of what's there and how big this thing is, and yeah.
So you did say, but following on from this initial drill program, you'd be looking to get back in there for some infill, would you?
Yes, so I'm currently looking at doing some infill drilling to support the 2019 RC drilling. And so, that includes a couple of twin holes and some of those high-grade intersections just to, test structures and, essentially try and get a JORC compliant, start to get towards that sort of JORC compliant resource status, to support that. Also, I want to do a couple of exploration holes further to the east. There's a bit of a gully or a creek running through there, and we're thinking that's probably like a fault line. We haven't never drilled further to the east of that to test that assumption. So, we want to see if it does extend on the other side of that, and if it does, then happy days. And yeah, we've got something else to look forward to out that way as well.
Well, speaking of things to look forward to across the likes of Ballaston, Blue Moon, what about the potential for antimony here?
Yeah, so we're in the sort of what they call the Melbourne geological zone. So you've got the Costerfield gold and antimony mine, which is currently producing underneath Mandalay. Got some really good results out of there. That's only about 50 kilometres to the west of us. It's all in the same domain. We've seen actually antimony from our drilling out at Ballaston at HR3. It's sort of like sub-economic though. It's not, we haven't found any big widths of it yet. The biggest we found was about 100 millimeters or 10 centimeters wide, but it is in the area. It's recorded historically in the area. So, and we use stibnite and arsenic actually as a pathfinder mineral when we're doing our soil sampling to find out places to drill. So the chance of economic mineralization with regarding stibnite is very high.
And for those not familiar, Adam, antimony, it is a valuable mineral.
Yeah, and it's one of those sort of background sort of minerals, like critical metals, especially with the battery technology and additives to metal refining and all that sort of stuff. And we're hearing adjacent tenements to our Ballaston ones, which is like the Gambia Resources and also Southern Cross Gold. They're all in the same district, so to speak, geologically speaking, and and they're getting really good hits of stibnite or antimony.
Well, Adam, I want to ask, a couple of weeks back, you were in Queensland, sorting access, speaking to property owners. Give us a bit of an update as to where we are now.
Yeah, so I went up there a couple of weeks ago, did a few site visits to some of the graziers on our Queensland tenements, and yeah, all went well, all open and received it. Yeah, I've still got a couple of property owners still to follow up on, but they're aware of our presence in the area. We've already got a couple of properties on board to start straight away, and I've currently got 2 field staff who are going to be on boots on ground this week.
And
So,
what will they be doing?
So we're doing initially some pan concentrate stream sediments. So following up on the just to verify the historic pan concentrates from the 1980s, and also a few follow-up pan concentrates above those, up streams, the head of the streams. So so what will be anticipated is the follow-up work would be refining more of those stream sediments, streams, and this, getting towards the head of those streams in the mountain range there, and then heading up to the hillsides really, and yeah, coming up with some drill targets.
Remind us of the nature, the style of mineralization there.
So that particular area is very similar to, well, the host rocks there are sort of like Charters Towers, Ravenswood, and all that sort of area is known for any style of mineralization, from narrow vein, but also you'll get a chance of breccia deposits like Mount Lation, Gidston, historically massive, million-ounce targets, million-ounce deposits have been mined in the past. So this is the first time ECR personnel have actually been on there. No one's been in that ground, done anything seriously for decades, I think. So so it's going to be interesting to see what we see. There is reports of breccias and rhyolitic type rocks, which is all commonly with these Mount Lation, Gidston type massive multi-million ounce deposits in the area. So so hopefully, yeah, like our previous CEO said, we're in elephant country, so possibilities are endless, I think.
And Adam, you were speaking recently with Alan Green regarding some Lidar imagery done on the Creswick tenements. You've since been doing some follow-up. Give us some detail.
Yeah, so we been using the publicly available Lidar imagery data over our Creswick tenements. You can clearly see all the historic gold workings and where they lead up to the hillsides, and a lot of these old gold workings are leading up to. There's no source, there's no source of the gold there. So what I've been doing over the last month and a half is putting a lot of soil programs over these hillsides, essentially just looking for the path of the trail of gold coming down the hillsides from the source, and yeah, and hopefully, well, we've got at least 200-300 soil samples in the laboratory as we speak. So the outcome of that again is just looking for the source, so we can plan some decent drill targets in the Creswick area there and expand the footprint of the mineralization there.
So you're positive on the outlook for Creswick?
Oh yeah, it's totally unexplored. None of this modern exploration's ever been done there ever. Given the amount of historic gold production the area's had, the previous explorers in the last 30 years there have just, besides doing 1 or 2 initial drill holes or a couple of rock chips here and there, they've just walked away. And I think it's when you look at what they were looking for, they had initial targets, so you had that tunnel vision there. Whereas, for us, we're just, especially with the high gold prices and and the changes in mining technology in the last 30 years, you gotta sort of take with what you've got and see what's economic for that. And Creswick is essentially very high grade, narrow veins. Most of the veins there are probably up to 2 meters wide, 3 meters in some spots. But you're talking grades, ounce plus even over those meters. So, but the thing is with Creswick is that you know, there's a lot of strike length across our tenements. However, you know, the gold's not in every part of that strike length. You know, it could be every 300 meters you get some gold or whatever. So really it's these soil programs and using what historical information we've got as well, to sort of follow up from, really, and just yeah, find the source of these things and yeah, go from there.
So in terms of news and updates between now and the end of the year, say, potentially some drill results at Blue Moon and soils from Queensland and Creswick.
Yep. So I'm anticipating by before the end closing of the year, we should have our initial results for our initial 1,000 meters of drilling at Blue Moon, and then we should also start to have initial results for our stream sediment sampling program up in Queensland. So we'll verify also, you know, where the gold was and verify all those old results, and which will be quite exciting. And then yeah, and then we'll have some decent drill targets organised, I think, for Creswick going into the new year, based on all the soil sampling results. A couple of the drill holes I've got planned for Blue Moon will be twinning some of the RC holes, especially that high grade, you know, 11 meters at 6 grams. That verifies the grade, but also you can visually see what structure is, and you know, so we can nail down where the, you know, where this thing plunges and where the system goes for follow up.
Good to speak, Adam. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Andrew.